Hi and welcome to PhotoshopLightroomTV episode 28. I'm Marek Mularczyk, your host from sitetrain.co.uk, one of the UK's leading specialists in Adobe Certified training, and I welcome you to another episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV, a weekly video podcast about Photoshop, Lightroom, and surprisingly Adobe Bridge. Okay. Now today I want to start with a photography tip. Okay. Photographing children, right? I can't tell you how many really bad photographs of children I've seen in my life. And I'm not talking just about the quality of the photographs, because it doesn't really matter what camera you use, but the quality of the image from the technical perspective. Okay. Now, first of all, when you photograph children, get on their eye level. So if it's a baby, get on your knees or sit on the floor. Don't take the photographs from where you're standing. I've seen so many photographs when people were taking photographs like that of the children, and you can mostly see the top of the head, right? So get on your knees or sit on the floor and take the photographs of the children on their eye level. It's like with adults. When you take a photo of your friend, you want to get on the same level as their eye level. Okay. You don't stand up or lie down, right? So get on the eye level of the children to photograph them. Bend your knees or kneel down or just sit on the floor or even lie down on the floor if it's an infant, okay? The other technique is when you position the baby, when you setting up the camera, now don't put the baby in the center, not always. Sometimes it looks good if it's in the center, especially if the child is going to fill the whole frame, but sometimes it's good to put it on the 1/3 is the rule of thirds. You can put it on the left hand side, on the right hand side, maybe on the top, maybe on the bottom, not exactly in the center. Okay. Get used to looking at different images and see how you can manipulate the photographs, maybe try different ways, different angles to take images. Okay, this is the photography tip. Now let's move on to our tutorials. The first tutorial will be in Photoshop, and I'm going to show you how to get 3D content into Photoshop CS5 Extended. So let's have a look on that. Here I am inside Adobe Photoshop CS5 Extended, and we're going to talk about getting some more 3D content into your designs. Let's say you're working with design and you wanted to use some 3D features. One of the things I could do is I could turn this image, this layer, into a 3D postcard layer. Okay, this will turn it into a 3D object within Photoshop CS5 Extended. But what if you want to get more content? Let's say you want to add more materials or more even objects. You can easily access them for free from Adobe servers. Here's how you do it. You go to the 3D menu and browse 3D content online. Okay, this will open your web browser and will point you to Photoshop page, photoshop.com, and if you scroll down, you see we got some material downloads, so you can easily download them from here. Loads of materials that are available for free. So you click on download, and then you're ready to start downloading the materials. I'm just going to save it, okay, onto my desktop. Okay, this ends up on your desktop as an MXP file, as an XP file. Okay, and if you look on the icon of this file here, it's got an icon of the Adobe Extension Manager, which means this will be installed within Adobe Extension Manager, and then it will be available inside Photoshop. Okay. So when it's finished, this is downloading, you can just easily double click on it and open it with Adobe Extension Manager. Right? I've already downloaded it and installed it, so I'm just going to jump into my Extension Manager. By the way, you can find it within your CS5 folder, Adobe Extension Manager CS5. Just going to launch it. And basically, Adobe Extension Manager holds all the add-ons, all the plugins that you install for your Adobe applications, for all the Adobe applications you have on your machine. Okay, just going to close that, and I'll minimize that. Now it's loading my CS5 extensions into the Extension Manager CS5. If you run CS4 on your machine, you may also have Adobe Extension Manager CS4, so be careful. You want to install it in Extension Manager CS5. You can see I've got two versions of Photoshop CS5, 64-bit and 32-bit. And if I jump into my Photoshop, these are material presets that are downloaded. Okay? Adobe Photoshop Extended 3D material presets. That's how it appears once you install it within the Extension Manager, and then you can easily access it inside Photoshop. Okay, so if I just close that and jump into here, and I'll just go to let's say I'll go to the 3D panel. So I'll go to Window 3D. I'm going to open the 3D panel, and I'm going to jump into material mesh here, or here mesh. I could easily access additional filters. Or another example I'm going to show you. I'm just going to quickly add some text. So select my text tool. I'll make it bigger. I'll just add some text. CS5. I'll accept it. Make it bigger and bold. Maybe use a different font as well. Just make it 72. And now I'll jump into 3D, Repuser, and text layer. This will take the text layer. Yes, I want to rasterize it. That's fine. Now this will take this text layer, and Repuser will convert it into a 3D object. And I'll show you how you can quickly and easily access materials within Repuser dialog box here in Photoshop CS5 Extended. Now, Repuser is new to Photoshop CS5 Extended, so this doesn't appear in. If you use Photoshop CS4, you won't have it. It's Photoshop CS5 only. So this dialog box that opens up, Repuser. I'm just going to move it to the side here, and here are the materials on this side here. We can access all the materials. You can also come in here, and you can select some new materials. Okay. For example, let's say glass. I don't want to replace it. No, I want to append it. So I want to see more materials. So I'll click append, and now I'll see all my previous materials, and including some gloss materials, or maybe even more. Let's see. I got glass. Let's say maybe plastic. I'll append this, and I've got some plastic materials here. Lots of them, and they're all for free. How cool is that? For example, I can double click on this one here and apply it to my Repuser shape. Okay, so just so we don't waste time, back to Studio. This is Photoshop CS5 and 3D materials. Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial in Adobe Photoshop, how to get more 3D content into Photoshop. It's all free, so why don't you go and download it. Okay. Now it's time for a Bridge tutorial. Okay, this time I'm going to show you a tutorial in Adobe Bridge on how to create slideshows in Adobe Bridge. As you know, Bridge is free, it comes with Photoshop. And next week, in next episode of PhotoshopLightroomTV, I'm going to show you how to create a slideshow using Lightroom, or Adobe Photoshop Lightroom as it's called. Okay, so let's see how you do it with Adobe Bridge, and next week we'll do the same within Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. So let's have a look on Adobe Bridge. I'll be using Bridge CS5, but it also works with Bridge CS4. Okay, so let's have a look on Bridge. With folder opened, I'm going to jump into the Output panel or Output workspace within Adobe Bridge. I'm using Adobe Bridge CS5. I'm going to select all of these images, so I'll select the one image in the content area, and I'll just press Ctrl A or Command A to select all of them, and it shows me a preview of the images. At the top, I'll select PDF, because this will be a PDF. For the template, we're going to customize it in just a moment, but let's select something to start with. Because we're creating a PDF slideshow, I'm going to select Maximize Size. This will make sure that we get one image per page and the image is as big as possible. So I'll select Maximize Size. Okay. Now in the document section, I'm not going to use the paper sizes because I'm not going to print it. I want to preview it on a screen. So this will also change the quality. Because I'm going to use the screen for that, I'm going to use the web to get the best possible quality, because I'll be doing it on my machine. I'm not going to put it online. Background? Well, I'm not sure about that yet. At this moment, I can click on Refresh Preview to see how it's going to look more or less, so I can start customizing it. So that's the preview. Okay, looks great. I'm going to change the background color. So I'll click on this color swatch, and I'm going to use a dark gray, very popular for photography. I'll just press OK, and I'll click Refresh Preview to refresh the preview. Looks good. Maybe slightly darker. Okay, almost black. For layout, I'll leave it on the default, 1 column, 1 row. Okay. Overlays, I don't want file names because I'm just creating a slideshow. I'll create a fresh preview to remove this file name. The image will also get slightly bigger. That's fine. I'll scroll down. For the header, no, not really. I don't want the header to appear on every single page. I'll go to the playback section, and yes, I want to open full screen mode. That's true. Automatic advance, yes. 5 seconds, well, I'll make it 4. 5 seconds is a bit too long. I don't want to loop it at the last page, no. For the transition, there's loads of transitions here. I'm going to use fade. Speed, fast. Okay, this is the speed for the transition. And I'll scroll down to the last section here called Watermark. I'm going to add Watermark. In the foreground, I'll place this on each image, yes. I'm going to insert a text, and I'll type in 2011 Marek Mularczyk photography. And maybe a copyright symbol in front of it as well. Click refresh preview to see how it looks. We may need to change some options here. Now I can see it's really tiny, so I'm going to increase the size and maybe use a different font. I can use any font on my system. I'm going to use Gabriola. Okay, I'll refresh the preview once again because there's a few more changes we need to make here. Now it's a bit too big, so I'm going to make that, say, 64. Refresh preview. Looks good. I'll make it white. Oh, I'll just cancel that and I can select white from here. And there's one more change I want to do. I'll make it semi-transparent. So I'm going to dial the opacity down. Let's see, about 50%. Refresh preview. Probably even less than that. Yeah, I'll go down to about 30%. Then I'm also going to move it. I can offset it horizontally or vertically. So I'm going to move it vertically. Preview. Okay. Up or down? Well, maybe down. So I'm going to move it to about minus 70–80% to move it down. Or maybe on the sky. No, it's a good idea to put it in the sky, so I'm going to offset it to the top. I'll click refresh preview to see how it looks. And now it's in the sky. So I'll just click save. And I'll be prompted to save it. So I'm going to save it on my desktop. Hello. I'll just click on add desktop, and I'm going to call it slideshow_Albania as a PDF file. I'll click save. Now Bridge is generating PDF contact sheet, and it says it's done. So I'll just welcome back. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial in Adobe Bridge. Once again, it's Bridge CS4 and CS5 for creating slideshows. Next week we'll create a slideshow using Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. Okay, and now let's move on to our last tutorial this week. This will be about CS Review. Now, when Adobe introduced Creative Suite 5 last year, April, they introduced new CS Live services. CS Review is part of CS Live services. But what CS Review does is you can use one of the Adobe applications, for example Adobe Photoshop. To find out more about CS Review, go to PhotoshopLightroomTV.co.uk. The link should be somewhere here. To find out more, to find out which applications support CS Review. But for example in Photoshop, you can create a design, and if you want to share it with your client, you can use CS Review services to upload it to acrobat.com and let them know about a project. They can have a look on it, supply some comments, and then you can get it back really quickly and easily and make some adjustments. A fantastic feature within CS Review and CS5. So let's have a look on a CS Review in Adobe Photoshop CS5. Here I am inside Photoshop, and I'm going to show you a preview of a CS Review service within Photoshop CS5 or Creative Suite CS5. I'm just going to close that. I've got this document here that I was working on recently, and let's say I want to share it with someone else. I'm going to use the CS review service to upload it to acrobat.com so people can review it, add comments, and I'll be able to preview them back in Photoshop. So I've got this document here. I'll activate CS Live. I've already signed in, so you may need to sign in because you need to register for the CS Live services. I'm going to sign in because it says sign out. And I'll go down to CS review and create new review. Okay, I'll click on it, and this will open a CS review panel within Photoshop CS5. It's signing me in, and I'll be able to upload it to acrobat.com in just a moment. Okay, so I can give it a name. I'll leave it on the default master PDFs bridge poster. I'm going to save it to my workspace, and I'll just press OK. Okay, this will create the preview at certain quality. Now I can decide what quality I want to use. Could be medium, low, or high. Okay. And now I want to set it to medium, and I want to view it online after upload is complete. And I'll just click on upload. Now Photoshop is going to upload it to acrobat.com, and I'll be able to invite people I know to have a look on it and maybe add some comments, tell me what they think. I could easily communicate with a client in this way. Now the beauty of acrobat.com is that I'm going to invite people to preview it. I'm not going to share it with everyone I know, just with certain people. I'll need to send them invitations. Okay, so now it's loading acrobat.com, and in just a moment we're going to see the preview of the image. Yeah, that's the image here with the medium quality. Okay, I could add a comment here, right? So I could click on it and add a comment, right? Or I'm going to share it with someone. So I can click on the share file here and share it with individuals. And now I can send emails to people I want to share it with. Okay, really easily. So I can type the emails, own names, and then send them a message. And they'll be able to review the document. Now I can make them either a co-author or the reviewer. The easiest way and the safest way would be to use it as a reviewer. Okay, just going to close it for now. Okay, I'll jump into Photoshop, and you see that now I've got this Master PDFs Bridge poster here inside CS Review panel. Okay, this is just to start you with. I'll be creating showing more features in CS Review in later videos, but that's it for today, and thank you for watching. Okay, this was CS Review in Adobe Photoshop CS5 or Adobe Creative Suite 5. Now, this is the end of our Photoshop Lightroom TV, of our episode. But I've got one more thing for you. The tip of the week. Yes, you guessed it right. The tip of the week. This tip of the week, this time, will be in Lightroom. You're in the library or in the develop module, and you're looking at the image in the loop view. If you want to quickly preview it as before and after, side by side, just press Y on your keyboard. Okay? Now if you want to see that in a full screen mode, just press # key on your keyboard. Yeah. Very nice, very quick and easy in Lightroom. Okay? So thank you very much for watching this episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV. I'm Marek Mularczyk from sitetraining.co.uk, one of the UK's leading specialists in Adobe Certified training. Thank you for watching. Make sure you visit my blog, PhotoshopLightroomBridge.co.uk, or visit me on Twitter or on Facebook.